Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is Reallize here, and today I'm going to be trying a no moving build. I am going to be moving during the game, but the goal is to eventually be able to just stand still and kill everything around us. And let's get it going. So this is Hastur's ability right here. It should spawn in soon. There it is. So it just sits in one position and kills enemies every so often. And there's a maximum of up to 3. And of course, if you're moving a lot, then the tentacles will almost not benefit you at all because you're constantly running away from them. So that's why I want to answer the question if we can just sit still the whole time, really, and you kind of see, is this really an effective strategy, and is this character not as bad as I had originally thought? Reload rate is going to be a definite yes right now if we're going to be trying to stay in a similar spot. Obviously, I'm going to allow myself to move a little bit here in the beginning, but eventually the goal is to try to just stand still and almost never have to worry about an enemy. Obviously, damage for bullets is going to be a big one, and some knockback. That's going to be pretty good. I have a couple upgrades in mind, but we will get there when we get there. I could talk about tons of potential stuff that could synergize with a kind of staying in one area build, but there is a huge main skill tree that we're going to be tapping into today. We need some more bullets because we only have 2, so that's obviously not very good if we're standing still because we're going to be spending a lot of time reloading and not shooting. Reload rate +5, that's pretty good. A little less time reloading. So one thing I'm noticing about the tentacles is they're hitting like collaterals right now. They're hitting multiple enemies in the range instead of just one, so that may be potentially good for holding off bigger waves because it'll kill like groups rather than just one, but I don't really know how effective that's going to be, and I guess we're just going to have to see. Rapid fire is the first start of this build. We want to fire out bullets as quickly as possible. That's going to help us a lot once we get our clip size bigger. I'm kind of staying in this general area for right now. Let's go ahead and grab haste, not for the move speed, but for the 5 fire rate. That way we can at least fire faster. The faster we fire, the more bullets we can get out, which is not too helpful right now because we only have 2. I'm gonna grab double shot. Our bullets will be a little more spread out, maybe even potentially get some better upgrades in that skill tree, some fan fire, because we only have so little bullets, but eventually that's gonna be completely useless. We actually need to get a skill from the lightning tree as well. The lightning is gonna be a very good part of this build as well, but we can wait on that depending on the upgrades we get. We're gonna have to start moving around a little more to grab the XP to even get any upgrades. I want the sniper, but armed and ready is what we're looking for. Reload rate and max ammo. Now we're talking. 4 bullet gun mastery, exactly what we're looking for as well. Bullet damage, fire rate, reload rate, max ammo, and piercing. The main one is obviously the max ammo. The more max ammo, the better. The gun doesn't even need to be that good if we have infinite ammo, obviously, because we'll be doing way more damage anyways, regardless if we have more bullet damage, just because we can never stop firing. But we're not quite there yet. But look how fast that guy died. Summon tentacles twice as often. That's okay because we're going to be standing in the general area, so if they're just spawning more often and there's a max capacity of 3, then that obviously wouldn't matter. But I see 5 right now. Maybe I wonder how often they actually spawn then, if there's 5 right there. Penetration or damage, fire rate. Do I want bullet speed? Goes further or does more damage? I'm gonna get fire rate so we can have an easier time getting those enemies a little farther away. So there's 6 right now. Maybe it's not that the tentacles have a cap, but it's rather that they have a certain time that they despawn in, and it just so happens that the max is 3 with that time, but summoning it twice as often allows us to have 2. Kill clip is good for now, but it will be bad in the future and almost useless because we'll never be using that reload rate that we'll get from it, because ideally we would have max ammo. Let's see here. Fan fire is good. We'll get fan fire is not going to be useful again though, because we're gonna have tons and tons of ammo. So we'll get assassin. Kill the enemies just that much easier. We haven't gotten any of the upgrades that we're quite looking for yet, but the gun is looking very good so far, so definitely a strong starter for the early game here. There's still tons of time to make a lot of progress. I think I definitely want pickup range right now. I can keep the distance a little better. I don't have to compromise my positioning as much and still pick up just as much, if not more XP. But having 6 tentacles in our general vicinity is pretty decent. But again, if you're moving so much and you just run away from the tentacles, they're still going to be pretty useless killing enemies that you killed, killing enemies that are already like off screen. Pickup range plus 20%. Every XP has a 10% chance to refill 1 ammo. That is the start of our max ammo right here. Not going to be too useful right now though, because there's not too many enemies on screen. That's going to be more useful during the end game. So there's a few other upgrades that are going to be useful right now. We just need to make the leaps and bounds to get there. But first, we need to defeat Brock, and I have a feeling that it's going to go very easily because our tentacles are kind of taking care of the ads all around, and our gun is just mowing down Brock. Tome of Speed is bad right now. Tome of Summoning is bad right now because we're not going to summon anything. Tome of Elements doesn't have a downside, so why not? We're also going to be getting Lightning soon because that is part of the skill tree that I'm going for here. So we're just going to get Splinter. That's another good upgrade as well. Every time you kill an enemy, they just kind of explode into bits and pieces, and they'll just kill another enemy, and they'll do the same thing over and over and over. These bomb guys are not too smart. You would think that if bomb guys were actually deployed, they would not be right next to a crowd of enemies. But hey, maybe that's just a new skill. So Electro Mage is what we want right now. That's going to start the the lightning skill tree, and that's what's going to allow us to really have max ammo or infinite ammo. This is one of the main upgrades to get infinite ammo, and definitely going to be the start of how to actually stand completely still. Fire rate, max ammo, and bullet speed, perfect. Now we're at 6 bullets. Currently, we have no bullets regenerating, even though we do have a small, or actually we have a couple, but it's only a small chance when we pick up XP. But that chance will quickly increase as we get stronger and stronger. Hold down lightning to strike random enemies while the holy shield's active. Yes, another useful upgrade. The more lightning striking, the better chances that we'll have with some of these lightning upgrades in the future that have to do with max ammo. I'll explain exactly how they work once we get there and how that's going to affect the build as a whole, because this is pretty much the backbone of the whole entire build. And you'll notice I'm still staying in kind of a small area. Summon an Electro Bug that summons lightning. Again, perfect. That's just more lightning for us. Here's another upgrade coming up here. The eyeballs are just dying pretty dang quickly. So, unfortunately, not here. But we will get Reaper rounds just to do some more bullet damage. The more bullet damage, the better. How are we going to stand still if we have to be constantly moving because the enemies are just not dying? So having strong bullet damage is ideal, and the lightning striking so frequently, especially with the tentacles around us as well, is gonna really allow us to stand still even better. I actually have done a build similar to this just on my own, but I was not using Hastur, so I didn't have the tentacles. So I'm sure the tentacles will just make it that much better, and this is unfortunate. We have 2 upgrades that we want. We want this one, the Electro Mastery, and Siege. But right now, we want Siege, because this is what's going to allow us to stand still, and we have a 1 in 3 chance not to consume ammo if we're standing still. But Electro Mastery, I was almost going to take Electro Mastery there. Maybe I should have taken it, but well, we'll have the chance again, I'm sure. But you'll see right here, we are firing a lot more bullets than just 6. We're firing a decent amount of bullets. We don't even have to hit the enemies for the bullets to regenerate. We just have a chance of not consuming any ammo, just because of the fact that we are standing still, which is super useful for this part right here, because the enemies are just the weak little enemies, and we don't really have to worry about them coming too close, especially with these tentacles. Look how they're kind of formed a little semicircle around me. They're forming quite the defensive shield around me, so I don't have to worry about them too much. I'm gonna wait until this kind of ends a little bit or calms down a little bit, so about another minute or so, and then we'll really test it out, because obviously we can stand still fairly easily with just some bullet damage and some more bullets in the first 10 minutes, but the next 10 minutes after the 10-minute marker are really what is going to be the struggling part. Look how fast that filled up. So here's Electro Mastery, more radius and damage. Here's another upgrade, Big Shot. Ooh, I don't really know if I'll take that fire rate, but I will. Only 10%, not that big of a deal. We'll grab In the Wind, so it'll increase our move speed and bullet damage as long as we don't get hit, which I don't plan on it. Here's Death Rounds. Our bullets deal an additional 10%, but we minus 1 in max HP. I'm actually going to get this extra pickup range because if you remember earlier, if we pick up an XP, we have a chance to regenerate a bullet, so obviously we want more pickup range. Another fantastic upgrade, and another backbone of the build. When lightning strikes an enemy, there's a 20% chance to automatically refill 3 of your ammo. This is the upgrade that makes or breaks it right here. So when lightning strikes an enemy, there's a 20% chance to refill 3 of your ammo. If we look here, we have this one where we are shooting lightning every 2 bullets, and we have Summon an Electro Bug that shoots lightning, and we have more damage and radius, and our Holy Shield shoots lightning. So we have lightning striking all the way around. But that's not it. There is going to be some more upgrades with the fire tree actually in the future. This isn't the upgrade I was talking about, but this one's another useful upgrade. When you gain ammo, also gain 35% fire rate for 2 seconds, which is essentially going to mean we're just going to have plus 35% fire rate because we're always going to be generating ammo. I'm going to get Death Rounds here to deal even more damage, and we don't even have to worry about the low HP. Increase fire rate by 10% and piercing by 1 every 10 seconds. This bonus resets upon getting hit. Well, guess what? We're not gonna get hit, so we don't even have to worry about that. And now, Sniper. So our bullet speed is going further, so the bullets are going further, and we're dealing more damage. So now is when we want to put the fire upgrades into effect. We either reload instantly, or we don't have to reload at all. We'll get Split Fire, that way we're firing another bullet behind me. We'll get the rubber bullets, not for the bullet bounce, and I don't really care about the minus 10% bullet damage, but for the plus 10% fire rate, the faster we fire the bullets, the faster that we can try to run out our clip. But if that never happens, then we just increase our fire rate by a whole lot. Already level 33, and we'll start to see really how powerful this is with a lot of bullet damage and just never really having to reload. And of course, Fusillade, doubling base projectiles, will get us up. We'll get our projectiles to go even further, so now we hit even more enemies. But now we can pretty much stand still, and we don't have to reload too frequently. We can kind of just have these huge waves of not even having to reload. But everything is dying really quickly. The lightning is super powerful, so the lightning is kind of covering everything in the back, and everything it's not covering, you can just kill easily up close because the lightning's regenerating tons of your bullets. So you can kind of just constantly fire. And here's Pyromage. That's going to start off and give us the chance to actually do some fire damage, and that's going to get increasingly better. Hastur's tentacles deal 30 more damage, and not too useful. I think they're already dealing a lot of damage as it is. If they're one-shotting things already, why make them even stronger? But I don't think they're one-shotting these dudes, so, you know, sure, we'll take it. I also don't know if Hastur has any other upgrades, so I don't think we have a choice. Intense Burn, more burn damage. Hopefully we can get a little lucky in these next 2 upgrades and get both fire upgrades that we're looking for, or really just one if we just get lucky, because we don't need the last fire upgrade because it doesn't increase fire damage or do anything with fire. All that it does is every time you inflict fire, you have a chance to recover HP, but we're not going to be taking any damage anyways. But here it is, Fire Start. On every 5th shot, launch a fireball. And of course that's going to be good because we are firing super quickly, so we are going to be shooting tons of fireballs. This essentially allows us to stand mostly still. All we need to do is dodge the projectiles here and then, but we don't even really need to get close because with our sniper upgrades, we can snipe them from afar. So we just need to dodge the projectiles and we can pretty much stand still and not have to worry about reloading all too often just because of how fast we fire and reload, but also that we are just regenerating all of our ammo pretty frequently because of the lightning. Let's go collect some XP and get, well, we'll get Soothing, we'll get Kill Clip, right? That way we'll reload instantly because we're killing so many enemies during our bullets that will reload instantly if we do need to reload. That way we essentially do have infinite ammo, just in case you don't regenerate from the lightning already. But this one's good too. When lightning strikes an enemy that is burning, it creates an explosion. We have lightning and burn working together. Increase reload rate and move speed. We'll take it, because again, if our reload rate is instant, then it doesn't really matter if we need to reload. which we still don't really need to do very frequently because of our regeneration capabilities. But now we'll get Frost Mage, get that Frost upgrade in here. I think this definitely answers the question that it's most definitely possible to pretty much just stand still. Then we'll go get ahead and get a magic lens here, just to increase some of our bullets' size and damage, just in case it happens to be where we're firing. But this definitely does answer the question, can we beat the game without moving or get powerful enough to the point where you don't have to move for the majority of it? And the answer is yes. Is that a viable tactic? I mean, I think with this build it is. Is it very fun to just stand still for 20 minutes straight? No. So I wouldn't do it myself, but it definitely shows that you can get strong enough to kind of just stand in one general area and have almost infinite ammo. Oh, there goes my holy shield. That's okay. And the boss is dead already. Am I gonna get the Tome of Rage? Okay, unfortunately we didn't get the Tome of Rage, so all the Tome of Rage would have done is would have increased our max ammo. We'll go ahead and get Watch and Learn, but the Tome of Rage would have just increased our max ammo by a decent amount, and then increase our spread, so our bullets would have been shooting kind of all over the place rather than in the general direction. They would be shooting like in a way bigger area. But that's really all the Tome of Rage did. It just gives you some more ammo to fall back on in case the lightning doesn't hit that 20% chance to regenerate. But still, we have pretty much infinite ammo. We almost have no downtime. We're almost always firing, just because of a couple upgrades that increase our reload rate for killing enemies and increase our reload rate in general. And then, of course, those couple of upgrades that just allow us to continuously shoot and regenerate ammo. We'll get Frostbite, make those enemies a little easier to kill. Look how fast we killed that guy. Hastur's tentacles attack twice as often. That's pretty good. So more damage, more tentacles, and attack twice as often. I guess it's like the same as twice the amount of damage, attacking twice as often. But look at this. We do not have to reload for quite the while. All because we're just shooting around, standing still. Is standing still a viable strategy? Yes. Can you get essentially infinite ammo? Yes. Is Hastur's tentacles still absolutely useless because the enemies aren't even getting close to us? That's also yes. Even when we stand still, Hastur's tentacles are still useless because the enemies can't even get close enough to hit me or even get in range of the tentacles, so the tentacles are still useless. The character is essentially completely useless even when we do the one thing that you would think be good at, which is stand still. These tentacles are still useless. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I think this character needs a buff. I think this character needs a buff or some form of change in what the tentacles do or how they react, because I'm standing still right now, and even at the beginning of the game, they weren't all too helpful. And if the gadget becomes if the skill that a character has becomes completely obsolete after the first 5 minutes, then it's just not that good to begin with. But now's the time to get all this XP. So here's Frostfire. When you inflict freeze, also inflict burn. We got some good elemental stuff going on. Here is Stand Your Ground. Projectiles +2. Fire rate +2, minus 25% move speed. So now we're just able to stand still. We move really slow now, but we also have tons of damage and the ability to just stand still the whole game regardless. We'll grab Shatter. That way groups of enemies just die from the frost. Move speed to kind of negate that minus 25% move speed we got a little earlier. Igniting Lens to inflict burn when our bullets go through the lens. We'll get Vocal Point just to double the effects. There's no really reason for the upgrades I'm getting right now. We're just trying to get something because we gotta pick something, and we're just getting so many levels. We'll get Dark Arts level 53, 54. We'll get Vision Range because why not? The build is complete right now. We already essentially have max ammo. If you look at my regenerating bullets over there, if you look at how my bullets are regenerating, they're essentially always regenerating quite frequently. They're rarely going all the way down to 0, and when they do, we reload like instantly. But there we go. Here is the build. If you want to replicate this yourself, then here is the build on the top left, as well as Hastur and the shotgun. If you're going to do this yourself, you do not need to use Hastur at all. Of course, there's many ways to beat the game while not moving, but we tried it out with Hastur because I wanted to see how effective was not moving with the tentacles, and it was still not effective. So Hastur, just a bad character. Get out of here. Let's go with a better character like Raven. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment down below. Leave any feedback or any more builds that you would like me to try out, or any random things you would like me to try out, or even games that you would like me to stream. Doesn't have to be related to anything. Just drop your favorite game and I'll consider streaming it. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.